Hey everyone, I thought I would do a video here on both my thoughts on Dragonball Evolution and the idea of a reboot. I certainly would like to see a reboot for Dragon Ball, but before I go into that topic, I would just like to give a big thank you to everyone who expressed their concern and compassion to me in the comment box regarding my prior video. It really meant a lot to me that you expressed compassion regarding that, and a thank you to everyone who recently subscribed to me. I appreciate everyone who subs to my channel. I don't take my subscribers for granted like StormSync. And while I'm on the subject of StormSync very briefly here, which I think it would be an interesting discussion, is that if StormSync got butthurt over the fact that I was neutral, used common sense, didn't blindly stick up for him, but the fact that I didn't even bash him in my video which discussed disproving his claim that he was stalked by John. If that got him butthurt, then imagine how he would react if I discussed him being critical. And trust me, the gloves are going to come off if he makes further videos where he's out of line. I mean, I'll be critical toward him, not going to sugarcoat my opinion on the subject. So yeah, that's pretty interesting that if he was butthurt over that, then what does that say about him when people are very critical of what he does? It says a lot about his character and how he thinks. Okay. I've got a rather brief experience when it comes to Dragon Ball Evolution. I've only seen the film 3 times. The first time was a cam video, which I downloaded online. The second time, which I remember as if it was yesterday, I saw it in theaters with my best friend from high school who is a fan of Dragon Ball. By that time I had already forgotten what went on when I viewed the cam video. Didn't have much memory of it. And StormSync is very wrong on the subject that in order to appreciate and enjoy the film, you have to see it in theater. Yeah, on the subject of experience, it's very different viewing it in the theater than if you were to watch it via cam video. But to say that you're going to enjoy it, and this is what actually happened in Dragon Ball Evolution, that quote me if I'm wrong, didn't StormSync actually say that if you're a true fan of Dragon Ball that you'll go and see it in theater? Well, here's my experience of seeing it at the theater with my friend. I distinctly remember the opening sequence, and this this took a lot of willpower on my part to stay in my seat. And granted, anyone who doesn't know, I am a die-hard fan of the Dragon Ball franchise. I have all the manga right over there in the corner in my bookshelf. All the Dragon Ball Z manga, the anime from the 3 TV series, yes, even GT. In fact, I even recently ordered the Dragon Ball Z movie pack, the first 5 films, the animated films. that I believe were redubbed. But yeah, I am a diehard fan. And my first feeling when I was watching the opening sequence is that I've got to get up out of my seat and leave the theater. Every fiber, nerve in my body was telling me, get up, leave the theater. And it took a lot of willpower not to get up and leave the auditorium. And the only reason why I stuck around and watched the film was because my best friend wanted to see it. I guess he didn't hear about the bad feedback from the film. But regardless, I stuck around, I saw the film. And the only thing I remember about that experience at the theater was really wanting to get up and leave. Namely the part where it says that Ozaru and Piccolo work together. That, if you're a fan of Dragon Ball, you know that is complete bull. The third time was the Team 4 Stars iRiff track version, where they basically mocked the film. I really enjoyed that, though. I did not buy Dragon Ball Evolution, or the MP3 track, which is required to sync up the film. I just simply downloaded the film online and watched it, then deleted the file. Yeah. No offense, Team 4 Star, I really enjoy your work, but I just could not blow $5 or $10 on the DVD just to hear the audio commentary. I mean, that's how bad Evolution is. But that pretty much wraps up Evolution. It failed. To this day, I can't recall why I even bothered to defend Evolution. But going on to the subject of a reboot, okay. This is the heart of this video here. If a reboot is to be done, how should it be made? I mean, should it be exactly like from the storyline, like whether it be Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z? Should it be have the heart of the characters, like how they look, their personality, how they're described in the manga? Should it follow the manga straight, only elaborate a little bit on it because the stories are so short for the sagas that it probably wouldn't be enough to fit a 2-hour movie? Maybe, maybe not, I don't know, but that's what I like to discuss here, and hear other people's thoughts that, specifically fans of Dragon Ball, like Pathagio Freed, Jinx 5150, anyone else who likes Dragon Ball and respects the franchise. I mean, without a doubt, in my opinion here, the studio needs to learn from their mistake with Evolution and listen to the fans. I mean, find out from the fan perspective, like whether it be a internet forum or a social networking like YouTube here. Listen to the fans, stay close to the source material, get the characters right. In my opinion, I would be fine with a brand new storyline, but I mean, what I mean is stay true to the characters, mix up the storyline a little bit, meaning, for example, if they were to do the Saiyan saga, have Vegeta, Bulma, Nappa, Raditz, all these characters from the storyline, and go from there. Don't copy it dialogue for dialogue, action scene for action scene. Like, go with that storyline, but try to make it unique. But don't even go with the Goku going to high school at all. I mean, that would be pointless. I mean, I'm all for original material, but I mean, if it were to be exactly like the anime or the manga, that shot for shot, word for word, it would be somewhat pointless. I mean, if they were to copy it like that, then what would the point be? It would be like, you know, going the easy way out. I mean, sure, it would be being respectful to the franchise, but why see an exact copy of it in that format when you could watch the anime or read the manga? I mean, I'm trying to put myself outside the box here. You know, trying to mix together both an idea for something brand new, but still being true to the source material. But I'm not saying I'd be against it following the storyline in that format. But the only question would be, would it be the Dragon Ball franchise or the Dragon Ball Z franchise? If it were to be, you know, starting out with Dragon Ball Z, then the opening sequence would have to be a combination of all the storylines from the Dragon Ball franchise, where it's telling us that Goku fought the Red Ribbon Army, the assassin General Tao, the Demon King Piccolo, his reincarnation Piccolo, and go from there. But then there's the subject of certain characters, like, for example, Oolong and Puar. I mean, they were in the manga, they were in the anime, but would they even work in a live action film? I mean, would it be okay to have them as CGI characters? That's another question. And I would just like to hear what everyone's thoughts on this, because if there's one thing I gotta say about Evolution, it's that I'm glad that they left out Krillin. Because could you imagine Krillin going to high school with Goku? I mean, that would be just too strange. A small actor who's, you know, Goku's best friend, and how exactly would they characterize Krillin in Dragon Ball Evolution if he was part of it? Because they certainly got Goku wrong, and emo who was whining about wanting to get the girl, and some made-up character played by Texas Battle who called Goku Giku. The only bright side to Evolution was Jamie Chang. I believe that's her name, who played Chi-Chi. The only worthwhile scene was the strawberry classroom scene, which was a daydream. That's the only good thing about Evolution. Other than that, total waste of time. So yeah, I would love to hear how everyone would want a Dragon Ball reboot done. Because, oh, but before I even wrap up this video, there is one little thing tied to Evolution that I'm curious about. Now, beforehand, a few years ago, it was said that there was going to be a sequel. You know, James Marsters said that there was a sequel that was greenlit. I believe he said it was greenlit. Maybe he said it was planned, but apparently that never came to light. I am curious what led to the cancellation of the film. Was it the evolution flopping? Was it them hearing the feedback of the fans who hated it? I would just personally love to know how that went down. It would be pretty interesting to hear. But yeah, that's all I have to say on this. Leave a comment down below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And peace.